Sugar babies, according to Urban Dictionary, which is the most reliable dictionary site out there, is defined as follows: a young female or male who is financially pampered / cared for by a sugar daddy or sugar mama in exchange for companionship. It doesn't necessarily always involve the two parties getting intimate with each other, although that usually seems to be a part of the deal. However, there are some cases where these sugar babies don't even meet their sugar parent in person. In a sense, it's an online relationship. Either way, today we'll be counting down the top 10 influencers exposed for being sugar babies. What's happening, guys? I'm your host, Jared Bronstein, and today we're talking sugar babies. As always, make sure to follow the entire IO team on Instagram and subscribe to never miss a video. We got some comment replies and bloopers coming up at the end of this one. And before we get into it, let me know in the comments below if you'd ever be a sugar baby. I won't lie, I would. Like, I got debts to pay, so, you know. Anyways, here we go. In at number 10, Shannade Clermont. One half of the Clermont twins. This one unfortunately doesn't end so well. So the story here is Shannade was sentenced to a year in prison after she pled guilty to wire fraud. The charge stemmed from a night she went to see her sugar daddy, James Alessi, who died that same evening. So what happened? Well, according to Shannade, who admitted Alessi was her sugar daddy, the 42-year-old real estate broker invited Shannade over to his apartment in Manhattan. However, Shannade left after a short while because, as far as she was concerned, he was a drunken mess and she didn't want to deal with it. Before she left, Shannade did, however, steal his debit card. Turns out Alessi was actually extremely intoxicated after overdosing on a mix of narcotics. Alessi was found dead in his apartment the next day. However, as per Shannade, she had no idea he had passed. Over the course of a few months, Shannade would go on to buy luxury items such as Valentino shoes and expensive flights to who knows where. It's believed she spent around $20,000, and something Shannade purposely allowed Alessi to die that evening just so she could spend his fortune. At number 9, 24-year-old Kate Szepanowski. After being pulled over in Sydney around 1 AM with police under the impression that Kate was possibly intoxicated, she found herself in some hot water. Upon being asked to see her identification, officers noticed a large wad of cash in her purse and suspected it could have come from a possible deal involving narcotics that she was possibly involved in. Aside from the wad of cash, the officers also found 2 phones in the car, one of which Kate claimed belonged to someone else. A more thorough search revealed a clear plastic bag with white residue in it, as well as a Xanax tablet without a prescription. According to police reports, Kate told them various different stories before admitting she got the money from her sugar daddy. She ended up getting off with a fine, but I mean, geez, you might have some explaining to do to your followers now, love. Coming in at number 8, we got Sophia Spallino. The 27-year-old influencer claims to be an old soul and says although at first she was taken a little aback by her partner's age, she eventually saw past it. Spallino is dating 54-year-old entrepreneur Robert Croak, and Croak showed the world sometimes you really do need to shoot your shot. Story here is Croak gave Spallino a follow on the gram and then slid into her DMs. Within days, they were FaceTiming, and before she knew it, Spallino was headed to Croak's hometown of Toledo to go on her first in-person date with Croak. Sparks immediately, the two are now planning on getting married and having children. I don't necessarily see an issue with the age gap, more so how quickly things are progressing here. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but how do you know they're really the one? You know? Like, how do you know? And at number 7, 21-year-old Cluam Sutherland. Now let me say, if this girl decides to start an online course on how to be a sugar baby, I would sign up. You should sign up. Just do it. She's got this thing down to a science. Sutherland has 3 different sugar daddies, 2 of them internationally and 1 in Melbourne, where she's from. And according to her, none of them know about each other, although I find that kind of hard to believe now that she's come forward about it. Either way, Sutherland has these guys pay for her 2 apartments, 3-bedroom house, food, clothes, you name it, they cover it. One of the sugar daddies is from Sweden, and he doesn't even want to meet her in person. The guy just likes having someone to talk to other than his family, I guess. Another lives in Japan, and it seems that Sutherland is very professional when it comes to her business. She'll never release her sugar daddy's information, and when asked in person about what she does, she usually just says she's a YouTuber. Hashtag YouTube life, am I right? At 6, we got Amanda Drago. Now this is an interesting situation because Drago actually posted a tribute to her late sugar daddy and didn't hold back about how she really feels. Captioning a photo on Instagram of herself and Brad, her sugar daddy, Drago explained how toxic their relationship was and how she wished she had never met him. Drago went into detail about the nice things he bought her, such as a racehorse and a pair of Louboutins. But she also touched on the scarier side of the relationship, such as the time that Brad did whippets and tried to attack her. Although she had some nice things to say about Brad, ultimately the post seems like it was a final goodbye. Drago claims Brad also haunts her, and she capped off the post asking him to please stop. Coming to the number 5 spot, Mackenzie Lueck. Lueck was a 23-year-old nursing student at the University of Utah, and she was very open and public about her arrangements. Lueck admitted to having 2 separate sugar daddies at once, and even posted on Facebook explaining how to obtain a sugar daddy. She gave out tips like try Tinder and be blunt about it. Mine says, I want an SD-SB relationship with a real connection. If they don't know what an SD-SB is, tell them bluntly sugar daddy and sugar baby. But if they don't know, they aren't really worth your time. She went on to explain, set your age preferences from 35 plus. You'll have the most luck there. Private message me if you have any more questions, I have experience. Unfortunately, Lueck went missing in June of 2019, and her remains were found a few weeks later. The man responsible for this sickening crime is Ayula Ajayi, and he was sentenced to prison in October of 2019. In at number 4, Melina Roberge. This story has a surprising twist, and it doesn't end well in Melina's favor. In early 2015, the influencer would meet an older man at a restaurant in Montreal. It wasn't long before the two started seeing each other, and Roberge got caught up in the lifestyle. In May of 2016, she was offered to go on an all-expenses-paid trip to Morocco, where she could earn money as an escort. When she discovered the cruise ship would also be importing narcotics, she said she had no interest. Still, her sugar daddy, who remains unnamed, lined her pockets with a good €10,000 in cash. He then offered her another opportunity, joining others on a cruise that would travel the world. She wouldn't have to do anything, just enjoy the trip. He also mentioned they would be smuggling narcotics, but it'd have absolutely nothing to do with her. So she agreed because who could say no? I mean I would say no, guilty by association and whatnot, but and that's actually exactly what happened. Australian authorities seized a ton of snow, if you get what I'm saying, like booger sugar, nose candy, and it just so happened to be hidden in a suitcase in Roberge's cabin. She's now facing 8 years in prison for her involvement. At number 3, we got Chloe, an 18-year-old sugar baby who didn't want to reveal her last name for the sake of privacy. But Chloe seems to have struck gold with her arrangements. Studying psychology and neuroscience in school, the Londoner allegedly makes up to £18,000 a month from her clientele of sugar daddies. And the craziest part of it all is that she simply acts as a companion. There is no intimacy involved, and Chloe sees them between 2 to 4 times a month. That's about once a week. And it also depends on how busy she is with her schoolwork. Not only does she get money, but she goes on shopping trips, gets jewelry, designer bags, clothing, who knows what else. Although Chloe claims she feels her family and friends judge her because of what she does, this life is just too good to give up. Coming into the number 2 spot, Jiahui Lee. Now this girl is a full-on psycho, and that's me putting it lightly. So the story here is Lee actually got exposed for being a professional sugar baby, and now she's getting sued for it. A man whose identity is being kept secret claims Lee, his ex-girlfriend, lied about her age, exploited him for financial gain, and tried to ruin his life after he ended their relationship. The 45-year-old, who's being referred to as John Doe, is trying to sue Lee for $1.5 million. Doe was supporting Lee, paying for her groceries, car insurance, and so on. However, after they broke up, Doe found out Lee was really 19, not 25 as she originally claimed. He also found out she had been seeing other men in return for money and the finer things in life. Lastly, after the breakup, Lee started demanding financial support, threatening Doe of accusing him of things he hadn't done. She became vindictive and went as far as creating a fake Instagram profile, pretending to be Doe, following his family members, and then posting explicit photos of him for the world to see. Lee even reached out to Doe's ex-wife, who Doe had recently split up with, shortly before he met Lee. She even punctured Doe's car tires, superglued the door shut, and keyed his car. The influencer's Instagram page is no longer available, and she now owes her ex $7.5 million. So, double thumbs up to you. Good luck. In at number 1, Amy Williams. Williams is a 21-year-old law student who somehow got set up with an incredibly fortunate, or weird, arrangement depending on how you look at things. Williams tweeted that she was tight for cash and needed a sugar daddy. Then she got a DM from a man only being referred to as Richard, who allegedly begged for her to drain his credit card in return for one thing: photos of her feet. At first she thought it was a joke, so she asked for the money. Richard sent his credit card info to her and told her to buy something. She did, and the rest is history. A few feet pics later, Richard is telling Williams to go on a shopping spree with all of her friends, in which she spent a few thousand. All Richard wanted in return? Some feet pics. I got feet, Richard, what's up? Hope you like hairy toes. And there you guys have it for the top 10 influencers exposed for being sugar babies. Let me know which one on this list really stood out to you the most. Unfortunately, as you can see, being a sugar baby isn't always as great as it seems. Some of them are currently living in jail, and others are living their best life. Unfortunately though, in one case, a woman actually lost her life. So the moral of the story here, guys, always be careful with who you meet, be smart, tell your friends where you're going, who you're meeting, and just be aware. Now on a brighter note, let's reply to some comments, then we got bloopers to wrap this one up. So in the video top 10 brands that have scary pasts you need to know, Carlos Spicy Wiener said, "That settles it, I'm not buying anything ever again." Yeah, like the world's pretty much run by corporations that kind of did pretty bad things. So, I mean, it's all about how you see it, I guess, and your morals. Night a Hater said, would you use these products knowing what you know, Jared? I'll be very honest with you. I have a lot of friends whose parents drive Mercedes, like obviously Jewish. My grandfather said he would never drive a Mercedes because like his family unfortunately didn't make it to the Holocaust like he did, but his parents did. Personally, yeah, I still would. To keep it light and simple, yes, I would. I drink Nestle water. Like, if I could afford a Mercedes, I'd probably buy one. Maybe not, I don't know. But, I mean, yeah, it's awful that, like, the past that they have, but at the same time, I don't know. What can you do? Ismail Gonzalez said, Jared, I enjoyed your pizza commercial. Keep up the good work as an actor since you are already the best model I watch on YouTube. I really appreciate that, thank you. If you guys haven't seen my commercial, it's on my Instagram, so go check it out. Get some pizza from 7-Eleven. And hope you guys had a great holiday. Happy New Year if you guys are watching this in the new year. Let's make this year the best year ever. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein. You guys have been watching InformOverload. Make sure to subscribe to never miss a video. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with a friend if you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Got some bloopers now, so enjoy these. At number 9, 24-year-old Kate. Oh, wow. Dude, some of them have such hard last names to say.
Szepanowski?
Szepanowski? Szepanowski. We'll just say Szepanowski. Silent S, you think?
I think so.
Szepanowski? Szepanowski?
That's about right.
I don't necessarily see an issue with the age gap. More so just...
Age gap, yeah.
What did I say, grap? I thought so. I was like, can I get away with it?